The reason I won't include any 8-bit or 16-bit platformers for this video is because if I did, 3/4 of this list would end up being 16-bit platformers. Tempo is a platformer for the 32X. I regard it as a great experience. Your character can fly, the game is colourful, and it has a theme that centres around music. I'm talking about rap and pop music. It's got a very funky tone. The gameplay has a fair bit of exploration and combat, and your character can fly for a limited amount of time. Its visual style reminds me that of the Powerpuff Girls. Unfortunately for Tempo, it got released at a time when many people wanted 3D games, and also it got released for a console that's regarded as one of the worst systems ever made. Like I said, it's colourful, it's got a nice musical beat to it, and you can explore the levels, and you can also find a companion to help you who is AI controlled. The game is very short though, but does have some tough boss battles, but there is a password system. A sequel to this game got released for the Saturn. The Saturn sequel is fun, and this game and the Saturn sequel were developed by people who were involved in making Sonic games. I think Sonic Advance 2 is a gem, and the game is still stuck on the GBA, although I think it got released for Virtual Console in Japan. If you love 2D platformers, especially Sonic games, you owe it to yourself to play this game on an emulator. I'll say this game is as good as the Sonic games on the Mega Drive easily. It's fast, it has fun level designs, it's colourful, and just like with the first Sonic Advance game, things are done to help the speed of the gameplay flow, such as you just need to touch a spring or one of those things that push you along very fast for them to make you go fast. You don't need to jump on them like in the 16-bit Sonic games. As you can see, the aim of the game for Sonic Advance 2 is to keep going fast, and the level designs are great in the way they utilize speed, and they are typical Sonic, very colourful and have a unique theme for each level. One thing I don't like about this game is some of the boss battles can drag on and be frustrating, but otherwise this is one of my favourite 2D Sonic games. Gris reminds me of Journey. It has a very abstract style. It's a spiritual experience, and its story is left open to interpretation. You don't know who the lady is, where she is. You don't know if this is just a dream. Is this the afterlife? Is she on an alien planet? And I like that kind of storytelling sometimes. You don't know if she's trapped somewhere and you're the only person who can help her. Platforming isn't difficult, it's more about the experience. There are some platforming puzzles, and you learn new abilities that you use for those puzzle sections. This game was made by a Spanish developer, and if you've seen my other videos, you know I like games that are different and spiritual, kind of like Echo the Dolphin games. This game is relaxing, and I'll say it does enough for it to be memorable for me personally. In Braid, you can manipulate time. You can reverse time, which means after you die, it's not game over, and you can reverse time for puzzles, but in different levels, time works differently, such as what direction you're running can affect if time is flowing forwards or backwards, and some environmental objects are immune to your time reversal abilities, and you need to use your time reversal abilities to solve puzzles. The art style is amazing, and the game has great classic platform. A style is remembered as being a gorgeous 2D platformer for the Saturn. It has colourful, hand-drawn visuals. The story is presented nicely through anime scenes. Its gameplay, you can blow away enemies or use your punch. Besides looking beautiful, the controls are tight. The game is known for being short and for being too difficult for younger gamers. The Japanese version gives you unlimited continues and extra health. Back in the day, a converter to play Japanese games on your Saturn wasn't too hard to find, and you can play the Japanese version on an emulator. Otherwise, it's a relaxing and delightful experience. SteamWorld Dig caught me by surprise. I first played it as part of the PlayStation Plus monthly games. It mixes Wild West and sci-fi. The aim of the game, though, is to drill underground and to keep going further and further down, and you'll uncover so many secrets and surprises. As you'd expect, the deeper you go, it gets darker, and there are places where you need to upgrade your drill to keep drilling because some areas are harder to drill through. You'll never guess what you'll find when you keep drilling further and further down. It's like another world down there, and of course, enemies. I don't want to say more because they will be story spoilers. I found this game very addictive because going further and further underground kept surprising me more and more, and also the atmosphere. I regard this game as a gem which I first played on my Vita. Shovel Knight reminds me of Wonder Boy on the Master System. It's a platformer with RPG elements. As the name suggests, you have a shovel which you use for digging and finding treasure, for buying things. For a twist, if you die and don't recollect your treasure before dying again, it's lost forever. So there's a bit of a Souls-born element to this game. Otherwise, it's old school goodness, has the difficulty and charm of an old school 2D platformer, but it has some modern things about it, such as a save system. The game is addictive and makes me feel warm to my toes when I play. It reminds me of when I was a kid. Ori and the Blind Forest is an emotional adventure. It's been described as more of a Metroidvania game, but it has enough depth to its platforming for me to count it as a platformer. The story involves restoring life to a dying forest. Of course, the story is a lot more complex than this, but I don't want to spoil it for you. The platforming in the game can be testing and punishing at times, but also creative. The jumping mechanics and the way you wall jump are done very uniquely. The controls are fluid, and there's combat, of course, and the game is just very relaxing and emotional at the same time. I know the story for Sonic Mania. It was developed by some indie developers, but the game turned out to be so good Sega published the game. The game is in the spirit of the 16-bit Sonic games and uses some of the same stages but modifies them a bit. The game plays pretty much like the 16-bit Sonic games, but its level designs have been described as being superior by some people, and same goes for some of its color schemes for its stages. Some people go as far as saying this is the best 2D Sonic game ever. Whilst I won't go that far, it's definitely one of the best. Only Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and maybe Sonic 2 I'd rank as better. But yeah, great fast level design. Celeste is another emotional experience in a 2D platformer. It's about a girl dealing with anxiety and depression, so she sets out to climb a treacherous mountain to deal with her inner conflicts. The game is meant to be hard, and it suits this game. It has nice story scenes that give a warm feeling, some nice atmospheres. The platforming mechanics work very well, lots of dashing and wall jumping, and it tests you out a lot. The game makes it feel that when you reach the summit of the mountain, you'll have accomplished something. If you've played a Donkey Kong Country game before, you know what to expect here. A lot of flowing platforming with some wackiness and some challenge, although the deluxe version for Switch allows you to select Funky Kong, whom has a surfboard that he can use to hover to make the platforming easier. Plus he can take additional hits. Otherwise the game is very colourful and fun. I love tropical environments and the atmosphere of this game. The swimming segments feel relaxing, the mine-carting segments are fun. Unlike the SNES Donkey Kong Country games, your character can absorb multiple hits, and you can also buy healing items. The game has the warm charm and humour that I like in Donkey Kong games. This is a platformer I can keep coming back to. It's just a delight to play and relaxing, and I love its environments. The Little Big Planet games are beloved because they let you create your own levels, and they mix different gameplay genres together, such as shoot 'em up, racing, pool, etc. I found Little Big Planet 2 to be the most memorable out of the Little Big Planet games. Something about its art style and the way it still felt fresh. Platforming mechanics for Little Big Planet games are interesting in that when you jump, there's a bit of a more delayed reaction, which I'm not fond of, and it's the only nitpick I can have for the series, because otherwise the Little Big Planet games are so fun. Like I said, you can create your own levels, and there's a way to rank levels so you play the better ones. The multiplayer is fun, and there's some wacky and crazy level designs, and the levels are just fun. I remember me and my friends playing this game online together. We would play each other's worlds, and being able to do it co-op made it even more fun. Puppeteer was developed by one of Sony's studios, and I think it's one of the best games to never get a sequel. The game felt fresh in the way that some segments of levels, you traverse them by acting like you're cutting up fabric, and the game also has quick time events. The level designs are so fun. As you can see, under the sea, there's on pirate ships, and some nice swampy environments, sci-fi style in space, Mexican. The level designs and gameplay elements in this game are so fun. The game is beautiful to look at. In my top 3 non-Mario or Sonic platformers. Finally, we have a Mario game on this list. This game is one of my favourite 2D platformers ever. Its visuals are so beautiful. It's been described as if you're watching a CGI movie. It's colourful and everything looks fluid. Again, I love tropical environments, this game has some of the most beautiful tropical environments I've seen in a 2D platformer. To make this game feel fresh, there's a bunch of things. First of all, you can use many different abilities, and they don't apply for all the playable characters, but in the instance of Mario, you can use abilities so he can glide, he can make extra platforms, you can do special underwater abilities like a dolphin. You can only equip so many abilities at once to keep things balanced. Another thing that makes this game feel fresh are the Wonder Seeds, where finding a Wonder Seed will transform a stage mid-level to being a totally different and psychedelic stage. You can just be playing through a stage which will seem like just your typical Mario type level. Then when you find the Wonder Seed, the level will transform to being crazy. There'll be all colours on the screen, and there can be a stampede of dinosaurs coming at you or other crazy things happening in the level, which makes the platforming have a crazy and wild twist. You can also use Nabbit and Yoshi, who can't use abilities, but they can't die from getting hit by enemies anyways, so using either of them is like the game's easy mode. You need to find a minimum number of Wonder Seeds to keep progressing through the game, so there's a fair bit of exploration. One of my favourite 2D platformers ever. And here we have number 1, Rayman Legends. It has everything. It has an amazing art style, its story is entertaining, the platforming is wacky and creative and challenging, but the game is very generous with checkpoints, so even if you die, you can attempt many of the difficult segments an unlimited number of times. So the game isn't afraid to be crazy with its experimentation. Going back to the visuals, it looks like you're watching a cartoon, and things are colourful without being too garish. Some platforming segments will have the screen rotating to add a twist. Sometimes there's side-scrolling shoot-'em-up segments. There's segments where you're being chased or you're in a race against time. As a pure platformer, it's very flowing and thrilling. The controls are as tight as they need to be. When I played this game, it never felt repetitive and none of the levels felt stale. There's always something exciting or thrilling or creative happening. The level themes suit the game as well. By that, I mean the level themes are creative, such as underwater, volcanic, in the forest, inside artificial structures, but they feel like they belong in the game. I love the detail to the visuals, like the platforms have grassiness on them, the way giant tree branches have delicate curves, and when you're in the forest, things look murky in the background. You can still barely see trees. The way the levels are set up and the way you interact with the levels feels perfect. Now, the predecessor to this game, Rayman Origins, was a great game, and Rayman Legends has all the levels from Rayman Origins in this game. So in a sense, you get what made Rayman Origins great with this game. After playing this game, I knew I had to own a physical copy of it, and I bought it physically for Switch. I first purchased this game dirt cheap on PlayStation Store. If you love 2D platforming, you owe it to yourself to play this game. In my opinion, it's the best non-Mario or Sonic 2D platformer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.